Hey everyone, Grandmaster Ben Feingold here. During a hype train, we're going to do a recap. That'll kill the train, but still, something. We're looking at the game from round 3 between Fabiano Caruana and Jan-Krzysztof Duda. They played a Najdorf Sicilian. Fabiano has white. In this position, after a6, white has many moves that are theory, probably every move. He played f3, the old English line, e5. You could also play e6. e5 is more popular now. Black played a very early h5, stopping all the g4 lines. In this position, the most common move is to play knight d5, but they sort of transposed. He castled first, making Duda think a little bit. Always play king b1, and then he played knight d5, and they got to this theoretical position. The pawn is hanging on d5, so he traded. Wants to put his knight on c6. That's why he waited till b5 was played before he played knight d5. Knight a5 to c6. So he did play knight a5. And after rook c8, even though this position has occurred many times, Fabi thought quite a long time in this position before playing knight c6, which has been played several times before, allowing this knight takes d5 trick. Obviously, if you take the knight, then queen takes knight on c6. So this endgame is relatively forced. And we've seen this endgame before, mainly with drawn results. The position's about equal. Most of the grandmasters assembled like white a little bit more, who were doing commentary on the game because they like the bishop better than the knight. Rook d2, and the game was pretty equal throughout. I think this is probably like the first new position of the game. Was he played knight a5. This position after g6 has been reached before. Fabi played c3 relatively quickly. But there's not much to say here. The position's pretty equal, and Fabi was avoiding trades until I think he didn't like his position and decided to force a draw. So after rook e2, king f6, h4, knight b7 to play knight c5, attacking the bishop. The knight has e6. The knight's pretty good. Black's position is really solid. Now he went back to d2 and always play bishop f1, king e6. And in this position, it seemed like Fabi didn't think he had any advantage, and he sort of tried to force equality, playing c4, king c2. And then this really struck me, the move b3, showing that he really isn't playing for an advantage. Position's just sort of blocked, material's equal. Thanks, Niels Drawer, for the sub. Knight b7, g3. They traded rooks, and the position's just too equal. There's no way that either player could win. I guess Black has a symbolic advantage with this nice knight on c5. And c5 was an excellent pawn sack, so he can get his bishop to a nice square. Takes. Problem with playing knight takes c5 is after bishop c4 check, it's impossible to defend both pawns. If you play king f6, I can take and then take on f7. So he takes here first. He can take the pawn on c5, but now white's king comes in. There's very few pawns on the board, and it's hard for black to win with his extra pawn. Knight e6, he plays f5, and the pawns just are getting traded. And there's just nothing left on the board. And the player's forced to draw with king and knight versus king. And here the game ends because neither player can legally win. A really high-level game where there was basically no mistakes from either player, and nobody really had serious winning chances that game. I'm sure Fabi will be upset not to get winning chances with white, but a very well-played game by both sides going into the rest day. And Fabi continues to be tied for first with his +1 score. This is Grandmaster Ben Feingold here with recaps. This is round 3, the game Caruana Duda. Thanks for watching our recaps on YouTube, and don't forget to watch us live at Twitch at twitch.tv/GM Benjamin Feingold. Bye, everyone.